Hey everybody, welcome back. Thomas Freeme, and this is the Thomas Freeme TV and podcast show. Back at you once again with another great episode. And today's episode is very important because two things. First and foremost, of the individual that I'm interviewing by the name of Kareem Alshimary, who is in Macomb Correctional up in Michigan. And the circumstances dealing with him, first and foremost. And then we have Trisha Joe. Now, if you do not know that name, Trisha Joe, I recommend that you go back and listen to the episode called Where in the World is Trisha Joe? For those that have not watched that episode, Trisha Joe is an individual who is still on the run, as far as I know, and is a complete fraud. This is a person who is frauding families of incarcerated individuals into innocence campaigns, duping these families into thinking that she is a long-standing paralegal with a long history of legal experience. However, that is not the case. This woman is masterful. She's very articulate. She comes from a well family. However, she has an addiction. And she is using and manipulating these families for money to fuel that addiction. To fuel not only the addiction of her particular drug, but the addiction of wins, the addiction of this fast life, going all over, collecting thousands of dollars from people and putting up this catch me if you can type of facade. Now, the atrocity about this particular episode is the fact that because of everything that revolved around Trisha Joe, I feel like it will take away from the importance of Mr. Kareem Alshimary and what he has going on. So you as the listener, I challenge you to, view this in duality, to look at it both ways, because you are going to hear from Trisha Joe, and you are going to hear Trisha Joe speak the way that she speaks. The reason why I wanted to come on and make this intro for this particular episode was because I want to give the listener keynotes on what to listen for, because you in particularly could be looking for an advocate to help with your case, your issue, and I find it my responsibility to inform the public on these types of dupes, these types of schemes. And when you're getting in criminal justice, they're everywhere. These fraudulent people are everywhere because they know that they're dealing with desperate families who have the potential to get money when need be. And these are going to be some of the red flags that I'm going to show you. And these are the red flags that started to bring me to awareness of who Trisha Joe was. Me being the analytical thinker that I am, there was these red flags that just started coming up where I just started questioning myself as to why this is so. And it started with this episode. The reason why I brought Trisha Joe into this episode and into loyal followers of mine as Miss Tasha, the fiance of Mr. Kareem Alshimary. She has been a loyal follower of mine, subscriber of my podcast and on Facebook and things of that nature. So knowing that I have a few individuals behind me that have their own campaigns, their own issues going on, I keep these people in my back pocket so that when I do get into a position to where I feel that I can help them in particularly, I can pull them out of my back pocket at that time, as I did with Tasha here. Because Trisha Joe did have me sold. She had me sold. And I'm a hard person to sell. But I think my issue is I always give people the benefit of the doubt, knowing that time will reveal all truths. And I think this case was in particular, So with that being said, going back to Mr. Alshimary, this is an individual who was just involved in a family dispute that got out of hand. It got very emotional. It got very dramatic, as most families do, especially in these times. How many families, how many listeners have gone to a family event? People have gotten drunk. There was high emotions. Maybe something happened that, a particular family member didn't like. It was addressed at this, this family union or whatever, and maybe there was a fight. This is all that this was with this man. And then in this case, this man got 28 years. 28 years for a domestic disturbance. So we're going to get into that. You're going to hear Mr. Alshimary tell his story. Mr. Alshimary is a very, very respectful person, and I love his tone. I loved having this conversation with him, and I've been working on it little by little because of the importance that I want the listener to understand walking away. And this just isn't your normal episode due to the fact that Trisha Joe has entered into the arena. Now, before we get into the episode, what you're going to hear is this woman come in and portray herself to be a paralegal. And this is what's very important for the listener to understand. These are the red flags. This was the first intake that I've done with this woman, with Mr. Alshimary and Tasha. So all of the other cases I was brought into, Trisha Joe has been on these cases for quite some time. And one particular family, she's taken over $20,000 since January. So this was the first time that I've actually got to sit down and listen to her do an intake. So what I want you, the listener, to be mindful of is when she is speaking, notice that she only pays attention to one particular thing. That one particular thing is money. How much money do they have? How much money have they spent? When can they come up with the money? So on and so forth. In so much that I had to redirect the conversation back to Mr. Alshimary and where his appeal process was at. Because as she's continuing to talk to him, there was nothing about his case. It was about money. And she did it in a masterful way, which you, the listener, will be able to pick up on, I hope. And these are the keynotes that I want you to focus in on. This, when I walked away from this conversation, it left me with questions. And I didn't address them with her in any kind of way, nor did I show her that I had red flags, because I'm a master in myself as well. I just sat back and I let life be life. And I made sure that my mind stayed open and that I did not trust this person 100% because there's too much on the line. And I'm dealing with people who trust me first and foremost. So that's my responsibility, is to protect that. So even though I did want to trust her and I did want what her and I have discussed about forming to be true, I still had to stay guarded. And then when this conversation ensued, it kind of solidified within me that, yes, I need to keep my eyes on this one here. There was other things along the way, but this really kind of drove in the fact that this person could possibly be fraudulent. So in the listener, when you're dealing with a fraud, this person, no matter how intelligent they sound, how knowledgeable they sound, if this person is focused on the money, they have a different agenda than what you are coming to them for. I understand that money has to be talked about, right? Like, this is a lot of work that we do, and it's time consuming, it's focusing work, it's a lot of brain work, it's investigative work. And that doesn't even take into account the travel and all of the physical activities that has to be done with criminal justice reform work. So, of course, money is going to be discussed. For me, it's an uncomfortable conversation, and that's something that I have separately at the end, and once all of everything has been taken in. I'm not coming and talking about money with anybody out of the gate, because that is not my concern. Because for me, the hardest thing for me is to ask somebody for money who's coming and asking me for help. And I think that these people really don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. Some do, because they do their own advocacy work and they know the work that goes into it. But most don't, and they're desperate, and they're just looking for anybody to listen to them. And I've always done what I could, and it put me in a very financial tough situation. Plus the fact that I was trying to build a nonprofit at the time as well, my own nonprofit, which I have accomplished. So in those conversations that I have with people, I come across as genuine and trustworthy and honest, because that's what I am. I have no agenda other than to help these people. So the topic of money never even comes up, right? Because these people are coming to me for help with the understanding that I'm going to help them, not charge them. And that's kind of where I'm trying to change things now and set up some sort of program to help me help them. But aside from the point, that conversation with these people come across as genuine. However, when people have conversations with Trisha, they leave, kind of skeptical and a little unsure, because her whole conversation revolves around money. Her agenda is not about helping the people, and that can be felt. So you as the listener, I want you to pay attention to that. I don't want to take any more time of this here. I do want to get this out. Miss Tasha, I am so sorry for taking so long, but it's all love. You know the dilemmas and the situations that I've been going through. And take care, stay blessed. Thank you for all my subscribers, for everything that you do, and staying true to me, staying behind me, keeping me uplifted, and helping me help you guys. Thank you for all of the support that has been coming in recently. Much more is needed. As you guys have been following me, www.cominghomecoalition.com is a 501c tax exempt entity, community outreach. We're going to be having a fundraiser to get survival gear to the homeless for this upcoming winter. So travel size soaps, razors, anything that you can think that a homeless person could use for survival, but yet small enough to carry around in them. We're going to have these little bags. I think they're 10 by 10 bags that will fill them with these items. Also think about the females as well when it comes to tampons and their feminine hygiene. We're going to put them in these bags and wrap them up and just find a park out there in Tampa Bay. Of course, we will live stream it so the supporters could see, and hand these bags out. Just hand them out to the homeless so that they can have some fresh items, some fresh materials. So please, the address is 8466 North Lockwood Ridge Road. That's Sarasota, Florida. Box number 110. Zip code is 34243. But you can always go to Coming Home Coalition page on Facebook. You can Google Thomas Free Me. You can find the information. If not, reach out to me on social media, and I will make sure to get that information to you. You can feel free to subscribe as well, become a member, get newsletters, and also donate. So please visit www.cominghomecoalition.com for all the details, and enjoy the show. Stay blessed, stay healthy. Much love. Community unity. One.
Home Correctional Facility. Our regular business hours are from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. If you know your party's 3-digit extension, please dial 2501 followed by the 3-digit extension now, or press 2.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Macomb Correctional Facility, that's Mouse speaking. How may I help you?
Good afternoon. This is Thomas Freemy with the Thomas Freemy TV and Podcast Show. I had an interview with an Alshimary today.
Oh, yep. Just 1 second, please.
Yep.
Different.
The Michigan State Police need people like...
Hello?
Hello. Is this Kareem?
Thomas? Yeah? How you doing, partner? Partner, how are you, man? Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man. Hey, I'm glad, man, for taking the time and reaching out. That means a lot, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no question, man. And I apologize for what happened in the last incident, man. I just, as a returning citizen myself, being home 6 years and just trying to get established, it's still,
I understand.
The things that I've done since being home still doesn't attribute to anything. People still see me as a criminal. They still won't give me a shot at anything. You know what I mean? So it's.
But you're making a difference, big bro. You're making a lot of difference. You're the voice. You're the one who out there, venting for, a lot of people, including me, myself, right now. That me and you speaking. If you hear, I come from, I learned the language as I go. I'm from overseas. And the family altercation that happened, I'm going to tell you some more about it but back to you, listen, all you have to do, big bro, you have to do it day by day, and keep going because your daughter needs you. You need to be out there because here is a different story, and you already know.
No question.
We gotta have to fight. It's a 3-time. It's easy to come in, but it's hard to come out. And that's the system how it is, and that's how it's worked, and that's how it's been operated.
No question.
I was just watching. I don't want to cut you off. I was watching this news this morning on CNN. R. Kelly got 10 years. For with all these females or whatnot. And we don't know if he did or whatnot. But even if he did, and I'm saying, hey, 10 years for raping all these women, I didn't rape nobody. I didn't commit no home invasion. I didn't kill nobody. And you gave me 28 years because I didn't say anything.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into what happened. Let's get into the facts of what happened that day, the altercation, everything surrounding that. Like, paint the picture for the listener.
Okay. For you to understand my situation, this family, we like 22 brothers and sisters. My father married my mother, so I'm no relation to this. They claim is my sister in my case, but I always say she's my sister because I also got brothers from her dad, which is my brothers from my mother, and we grew up. We didn't grow up me and her, but they also have some type of like animosity because their father married my mom. We from Middle East, so and the Muslim man, they allowed to have a wife or 2 wives, and you're already aware of that, I believe, because you did time.
Yes.
So my dad. Well, he raised me. I was the baby. And when he raised me, they held a grudge. On this particular case, it was my sister got beat up. And my brother-in-law, which is my brothers and them, just simple assault. It was just a simple assault. There was no home invasion because it's my sister's house. So I'm sentenced to 28 years because a person testified on me and said I was there with a gun. And they don't have no weapon involved. And also, they have a piece of stock that is not even belong to me. And I asked the judge to get a fingerprinted. And the judge required that thing to get fingerprinted. But they never want to get that thing fingerprinted because the lead detective on my case, he's an indictment. He's in the federal prison for fabricating cases, for making stuff up. And they still not willing to give me the 911 call because I was incarcerated in Dearborn Heights, and this happened. It was in Detroit. It's just because he said, "Oh yeah, he was there," and my nephews, which is they also not my nephews, they swore up and down that I'm their uncle. I never gave any testimony. I stayed mute the whole thing, but they offered me 7 for that. offer, because I was on parole, for that offer, Thomas, they wanted me to testify on my nephew, which is he's not even on this case. Well, they said he was on this case, but they never pressed charges on him. So they pick and choose who they want to press charges on. You get what it's like, okay, that day on December, on December 20, was it 20, let me see. And I got it all in here for you too. On that day incident, you and my wife been calm with each other, and she said he's trying to help, and I was like, I'm confused. I don't know what to say because I ain't never been in this kind of situation.
So how she elaborated the events. Yeah, we put together a show, and she did a beautiful job explaining, what was going on. But when it came down to the details, of course, nobody knows the case like you do. So
sure.
So on the day, right, there was an altercation at the house, right?
Yeah.
There was a disagreement, an argument, just a family argument. You said
it was just a family. My sister got beat up, and that, she's still with him. She he put her, and then when my mom and dad went and trying to talk to him, he worked in the restaurant, so he pulled out a machete on my mom and dad.
Got it.
It's a sign of disrespect.
Of course.
I wasn't aware of it. Anything because my mother.
So everybody's heated. This is all ongoing. Everybody's in a heated emotional state, and and you go to the house, your sister's house.
I didn't go to the house. My brothers, you know what I'm saying? But they saying I did. Even if I did, because I'm trying to prove my innocence because they still not giving me the 911 call to prove that I was somewhere else. I got an attorney, is a good attorney, and I got a good private investigator that he's working on, you know what I mean?
Where was you at?
But I was in Dearborn Heights.
You was in Dearborn Heights.
Yeah, I was incarcerated. Really, what it is, I was on the hospital because I had an altercation with the cops that night because me and my brother was walking, and when they came to me, they was like, we got a phone call that you carrying a gun, which is somebody else. They just had the wrong description. So I'm like, man, I ain't have no gun. So the way he was patting me down when he came, I got offended because I was drinking that night. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, why are you trying to handle me like, you know what I'm saying? Just ask me if I had a weapon, and I told you I don't have no. So I walked to my sister's house and I slammed the door. I said, don't love, you know what I'm saying? So my dad ended up opening the door, and they came in and they ended up rustled me up and roughed me up and tased me. I ended up going to the hospital that night. I ended up got booked to 3 days. But the time that 911 call, if I get it, and if they do, they refuse to give me that call, Thomas. I don't know why. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to, she's trying. And I got a private investigator. He's not getting it either, but I'm trying to figure out how to get this. Is these people hiding something?
Well, so
this is my innocent.
So, okay, so now you're in the hospital, you say, and that happened 3 days before the incident?
No, same day.
Same day.
He said it happened. No, same day. Yeah, he said it happened at 12:30, at 1 o'clock or 1:30. I was in booking, and in Dearborn in Detroit. Dearborn Heights in Detroit. Big brother, it's like a distance. It's like that's still 45 minutes.
That's what I was going to ask you. What's the distance? 45 minutes?
Yeah, at least 45 minutes. Easy. The incident I was Detroit that happened in Dearborn Heights. So that's like. And
you have there's records of
every red light.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got booked. And what do you need?
The records for your booking to prove that you were, what proof is there to show that you were at another place other than the crime?
I showed them. I got the book because they have a login book. When you go to precinct and everything, they have a login book that you know what I mean? You get what I mean, big bro? So for instance, you in this county, I'm in that county. Each county have a login book when you book in and you book out. You got people comes in for a few hours and they post a bond and they leave. You get what I mean?
And you went to trial, right?
Yeah, I went all the way to trial, yeah. And I told him And I told him in the last, he was like, "There's something you want to say?" I said, "Happy Father's Day, Your Honor. You convicted a man that innocent. I wasn't even near these crimes."
But wasn't that brought up in trial? Why wasn't that brought up that you were in booking at the same time that the crime occurred?
Because they took the witness. They said he know you by face. He know you. You grew up. They took his word. And my nephews, they got to understand. They was like, my uncle came in there with a gun and beat my dad, and hit him with the stock, and we broke the gun, and it's a bunch of fabricating. Said they just made up a bunch of stuff. And they said we had a robbery, and then they said there was no robbery. And I have affidavits. They came forward and they signed it. They was like, no, those affidavits, And then what's his name? Habib, the person that he was like, well, I'm scared if I come forward, they might lock me up. If I say, you wasn't there or whatnot. I'm like, but you gave a false statement, He even met with my private investigator to, he was like, what I need. He was like, well, he was like, if you say this and this, that's perjury. So, you know what I mean? He was like, well, what I need to say. The detective that we had, because he doesn't speak English, let's be, so he been coerced with everything. How to say and what to say, because he doesn't know nothing about the law. He doesn't just speak English. He don't do, you know what I mean?
Who is there to call but the police? And what I'm trying to get our communities to understand is that when the police come, when you call 911, that costs money. When they send police there, that costs money. These people have to justify that money. And how do they do that? By convicting somebody, by arresting somebody. They have to justify why they go there. So
I didn't know that stuff.
None of us do. We don't think about it like that. All we know is that there's an emotion going on, and there's chaos, and we want it to stop. We have been told and trained in the community that the police are our friends. They have it on the side of their car to protect and serve.
Big bro, even though if I am, even if they said, why am I being charged with a gun that is not even mine? Even if I did commit this crime or whatnot, why is the detective that fabricated all this, he's locked up? And I'm looking at Kim Worthy, you know what I'm saying? These your officers, these guys, you know what I'm saying?
The detective that was on your case is locked up now?
Yeah. For fabricating, what do you call it? That's what he does.
And you made those claims throughout your whole process that things were fabricated about your case?
Well, when I talked to my attorney, he said that don't matter. I said, why does it matter? It do matter. If he was a crook then, he's a crook now. If he's a crook now, he was a crook then.
No, the thing of it is that, homie, if this cop pull you over, let's just say a cop pulls you over and throws dope in your car, and you're sitting here screaming that this cop threw dope in my car, and 2 years later he gets busted for throwing dope in somebody's car. They're supposed to open an investigation on every arrest that this man has made.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro. And that's what I'm screaming. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm like, why? And he's on the witness list. You know what I'm saying? He's the lead investigator. You know what I'm saying? He was a sergeant. He was a sergeant, the lead sergeant on my case. He came to jury trial, and he testified. I have 2 sheets of him testifying. So they took his word against. I have no case against about to be a detective testifying and saying, yeah, that's a real gun, which is a stock, is a plastic stock. You know what I mean? So you building the case and you get on the stand and you're testifying. You think the jury gonna believe me, or is gonna believe a officer, a sergeant with a uniform and sitting on the jury? You know what I'm saying? And now he's convicted for fabricating cases and lying on stand and doing all that. So why am I not? This case is being reversed because if he's a crook, all this, there's somewhere. And down the line, he did something with mine, because the 911 call, when they called, they didn't call 911 call at the same, you know what I'm saying? The 911 call like 3-4 hours later, with the victim, claiming that I came. When somebody come to your house with a gun and they leave, you call 911 ASAP, correct?
Well, that was what my question was going to be. So they called 911 after at like the altercation and everybody left.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours later.
Like they were sitting around, sitting in their feelings, talking about, man, I can't believe these people came in and did that. You know, and then you know what? Let's call 911 because these people really busted in our house and did this.
Because he don't know nothing about the law, and they told him in the United States here, when you come to court and you testify and you say this and you say that, this is what they're gonna do to him. And that's what they took advantage of the system. And the system just took it and ran with it. Oh, we got witnesses. He testified, you know what I mean?
Of course, because all they see is a conviction. All they're looking at is a conviction. Is this a conviction or not? Yes, we have enough here to convict this person. Bam, let's run it.
And then what do you call it? It's corrupt. Found out, you know what I'm saying? Found out that what's his name? He was, you know, the judge and the prosecutor, you know, they're all in cahoot, you know. And we still can't get the files. Tasha's trying to get the files from, you know, FOI, some stuff from the prosecutor. What happened?
What kind of PI and investigative team do you have that you're still trying to get stuff? So like what?
Right now I got Sanford. But I need your help. I need you to talk to him. Like, why is you guys doing? You know, it's been 2 years with Sanford, and the private investigator. I just
and what are they charging you, homie?
He's not telling me nothing. They not even answering my call. Tasha doing what you call it, and I don't want to get mad. And I just put it all that money, bro. I gave him damn near $10,000, literally $10,000, and I'm in here in prison.
Yeah.
It's just me and her. Yeah.
And Tasha does not give me the impression, although fiery, she definitely has fire in her, but it would take a lot for Tasha to really put her foot down with these people. So a situation like this could easily be manipulated because Tasha, she out here, she got her hands full as it is too. We're desperate. My family's been taken advantage of. My family was frauded out of almost $20-some thousand during my appeal process. He jacked off my direct appeal. He jacked off my 2255, all because he just wanted my family's money.
Yeah, and that's I'm not saying that's just the only 10,000. Listen to me, big bro. I already spent 25,000 before that, and I did spend 15,000 before that. So. Yeah, my mother put $25,000 with which, and she didn't even come and see me. She just filed a motion, and she said you got denied. And I said you took 25 for filing something. I could have did that in prison.
All they have to do is file a motion. All they have to do is just file some sort of brief that coexists in line with your case in some kind of way, and they can charge whatever they want for that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. These people are sitting here telling our families, now we can do this. Oh my God, they did that to him. I can file an Anderson brief, and that's a Brady violation. We could have him home in 90 days. It's going to cost you $25,000. And then 6 months later, you just tell them now they shot it down. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the families, what do you mean they shot it down? And that's it. But listen, I got a guest that's been sitting here listening. Her name is Trisha Joe.
Trisha Joe. Okay. I said hello, brother. Appreciate it.
She's a paralegal in a law analysis for 30 years of 30 years of experience. So I'm gonna let her take over with some of her questions and thoughts on what she's heard so far, and maybe we can come with something.
Thank you, Thomas, and I'm grateful and humble for this experience, brother. I appreciate you.
Cream, I'm Trisha Joe. It's very nice to meet you.
It's Abdul Kareem, but you could call me Kareem. You're fine. Your family.
Yes, sir.
Call me Kareem.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have had a chance. I've had limited time to research your case, but I've listened to this whole conversation that you've had with Thomas, and my first couple questions that come to me right away are not really legal questions, but if I could ask you, just in all transparency, with your current representation, the attorney that is representing you now, for lack of a better definition, did that include the benefit of an investigator, or was an investigator included in the retainer that you've paid? Or
between me and you, and we kind of keep that, but it's okay because I wasn't, I want my freedom is most important and my family is most important.
Right.
And but I did pay the attorney and the private investigator included because that's a part of the contract. But the private investigator came in and he was like, he talked to me on the side and he seemed like he was dragging his feet. And I said, brother, what's the issue? Mm-hmm. He was like, well, I'm not being paid. I said, okay, if you're not being paid, have that conversation with me, man to man. That way, I need the ball rolling, brother. Why is you? He was like, well, if you want me to do this, that was 2 months ago. Well, it was 2.5 months ago. I gave him $1,500.
Okay.
I swear, and that's like, it's not easy because I work, Tasha work, my sister, you know what I mean, and Tasha putting majority, and I don't agree with it, but she also want me free. She also want me home, and she's a woman, and I can't put all this heavy load on her and on her shoulder.
I know. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand
it's
exactly.
It's not fair.
No.
Yeah.
No, but in addition to that, what also is not fair is to you, and when the focus is ultimately your freedom. Egos aside, expertise aside, whatever. The ultimate goal is your freedom. And what is not fair, in addition to, if you think you're putting a lot on Tasha's shoulders, is throwing good money after bad money. If that investigator came back on you and you paid an extra $1,500, what that tells me, having been in the business, having been in this line of work nearly all my life, is that I don't know what your retainer was with the actual attorney. I don't know what that was. If you don't mind telling me, I can tell you how much that was. I can tell you where probably the rub is.
Well, how much I gave my attorney?
Yes, sir.
Cash?
Yes, sir.
I gave him
10. 10?
Yeah, I gave him 75. Yeah, I gave him 7. Well, 15. 7. No, that's 8, 9 altogether. 9,000.
And how long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
And
with this August will be 2 years.
And what has he done for you?
So far, nothing. And I'm like literally like 20, 15 minutes away from, I've never even seen the guy face to face. I don't, I barely get a text, barely get a call. He's a good, decent man. I can't speak on nobody because I don't know what that man is motive, and I don't know. But that's not fair to me. Also, when I reach out and you're my attorney, please give me the common courtesy.
Well, Kareem,
let me
ask you this, homie. Where are you in your appeal process? Where is your case at?
65 right now. I'm in Wayne County.
But where?
My case in Wayne County.
So you went to trial, you lost, you direct appealed, they denied that. Then what happened?
Yeah. Then they said you gotta wait for the 65, but when you file the 6500, just make sure you have attorney because that's your last, straw. So I don't just want to.
And what is the time frame on the 6500?
Should be 11:07.
There is no time frame on it, to be honest.
But in order of where did 11:07? Have you done 11? What about 11:07? Is that because that's usually? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. All I know is because I'm not good with, I'm barely, I'm glad, you understand me a lot because the language barrier. I'm learning the English since I've been down. I'm learning this as a go, and I have to fight because my family need me. I got 3 kids. I got my wife. She's, over there by herself. My mom just passed 2 years ago, and I'm losing the ones that I love, one by one, and then I'm over here gonna be stuck for 28 years to something I didn't do. It's not. I don't.
Well, that's what infuriates me because you giving somebody your money to do this for you, and you're not even getting communication. You know what I mean? And the only communication that I've heard that you've had is somebody coming to you saying that they're not getting enough money, and you gave them more money, and then what? So
exactly. And that's exactly.
And this is 2 years now.
How you just,
this is 2 years now.
With the attorney 2 years, big bro. But with the what's his name?
The PI.
Thomas. With the private, PI has been 2.5 months. With the contract, he said, "I'm gonna get everything, 2 months or whatnot." I said, listen, if we can't rush perfection. If you willing to do the right thing, brother, here's them. Go do the right thing. And he came. He was like, everybody that read my story, they was like, what is that you do? I was like, man, it's just a family altercation. Even if I did, it's a simple assault, which is, my brother even wrote an affidavit to my attorney. It was like, listen, my brother has no gun, which is, I went ahead with the agreement. Okay, I assaulted him. Since he said I assaulted him, okay, I assaulted him. But there was no gun. There was no home invasion. Home invasion because they ain't gave me no permission. But I got the key to my sister's house. I walk in my sister's house every time I want to and eat and do what I want when I please on a regular day. It's just that simple. That day, I have no permission. I don't get it.
Would we be able to how would we take his case from the attorney that he has now and have that attorney refund money that's not accountable for it?
How it gets done.
So that's the question.
Yes. You can.
And there's one more question, Thomas. Is there to work with them and see what somebody that have listen, you got a cousin of mine or a brother of mine, because I don't know the terms and how to ask them, like, what's the hold up? I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Well, yeah, that would come. I mean, first it would come with the understanding as to what they've done. Like, this has been going on for 2 years. You've had this man's money. There's been no communication with him. Like, this is what is going on. It's opening up the books. It's Tasha going up in there and saying, I want to see the minutes that have been logged on this, right? I want to see the billing. How are you justifying 2 years worth of work and all of this money and nothing has been done?
And that's why me and her, and now you said it, both, and I'm kind of like hesitant because I don't want to tick this man off and he just take off with the money and said, screw you, I'm not doing, you know what I mean?
But there's still business ethics, and I get what you're saying. I understand, and that's desperation, homie. And that's what they feed off of. They feed off of that. They feed off of that because they know that we're desperate and they know that we're not going to rock the boat because they're all we have. And we're locked in because we've been giving them all our money.
This money, yeah. I did. I mean.
But meanwhile, these people are out on a boat that you bought fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I would have known he's gonna take that long with this 7,500, I could have flipped that 7,500 4 times.
And I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that this is what this particular man is doing, but this is what attorneys do. But I'm not saying that this man could be putting together a hell of a case right now. But the thing of it is nothing is being communicated that. Nothing's being communicated that, and he's not showing that. And in my experience dealing with people, if they're really out there working for you, they're open. They're calling like Tasha once a month. This is an update. You know what I mean? This is an update on what we've been doing. I spent X amount of dollars sending.
I wait 2-3 months and I give him a ring and I don't even I have to have Tasha. So if my girl wasn't out there, you know what I mean? So there's so many words, excuse me my language, so fuck me. I wouldn't even get no answer because I don't know how to, all I could do is write and I'm not getting no response. But I thank God first that I have support out there and family that fighting for me and doing this. I didn't rape no girls. I didn't rob nobody, brother. It was just he disrespected my sister, my family, and is an Arabic culture, is a Muslim. And even though on everything, I wasn't even involved. But even if I did involve, it was a simple assault. Ain't nobody got killed.
Yeah. What can I do for you, homie? What do you need me to do for you?
I want to thank you for doing all this. And it means a lot to me, brother, because taking time from your family and coming forward, brother, I want to thank you first. 2, brother, I need help. Whatever you think it fits, because I'm innocent. I want to get out. It's time. Y'all gave me 7 years because you want me to testify. I don't have nothing to testify on. So I kept my mouth shut. Because I stayed mute, they gave me 28 years. It's not fair.
No.
I don't see I don't see where, you know what I mean? I don't get it. Because you got to be a rat to get fair trial. And then my attorney, he was, you know what I'm saying, Joshua Gordon, he was black, and he couldn't say anything. What do you call it? Every time you could read my transcript. Every time he object, the judge is trying to hold him for contempt and trying to tell him to shut up and sit down. So how can that man fight for my life if you constantly telling that man, sit down, shut up and sit down? Oh, you're going to hold him for contempt? And that man has to pay $500. Where do you think this $500 is going to come? Not from him. It's going to come from me because I hired that man.
Yeah, I can call the attorney. I can try to see if they'll talk to me about what's going on, where we're at. I'll be of course a representative of the family.
I appreciate it.
And
I will be grateful and humble. Yeah, I have no problem.
And then I'm going to turn over now to Trisha Joe so she can explain some other avenues that I may not be privy to. So,
but I don't want you to be mean to him and anything and take everything out on me because I don't want this experience to go bad, big bro. I'm trying to go, trying to do this as smooth as possible.
Well, I'm a peaceful man. I'm a peaceful man, but I'm a firm man. I'm a firm man, right? I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I don't do any of these crimes against humanity anymore that I used to do. And I feel that I'm being paid for these by being filled with the Spirit. So I'm not out to hurt any other person, spiritually, mentally, physically, any of the things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you are being hurt, brother. You are being hurt.
God, I swear to you, I'm not hurting anybody. And you could ask everybody in the joint, and there have a lot of people involved. Be like, I feed the need. I help others. I don't salt anybody. I don't squeeze people. I don't. And all different organizations.
You sound like a very humble man. You sound like a very humble and respectful person.
I have to because the life experience. But all I could do is. I look up and I said, God, I didn't, and I know I didn't do none of this stuff. What is it, my destiny? Why I deserve this? I want to be home with my loved one. Enough is enough. It's going on. This is 13 years. Mm-hmm. And I see guys with rape, a 9 and 11-year-old and lied and stole and stole from their mother and got less sentences than me. And they out there in the street. And I'm like, and I still gotta go do another 14 years or 15 years left in my life. Where's fairness?
That's the whole thing, and that's how I would. That's the conversation I would have with this attorney if he's willing to speak to me about it. Is that this man has lost loved ones. Time is being pressed now, and it's either get it done or get off the pot. To essentially say. But I'm going to turn over to Trisha Joe and let her come up with some.
I want to ask you one question before you leave, Thomas.
Go ahead,
How much time did you do, brother? How much time did you do?
I did exactly where you're at right now. I did 13 years in the federal state. That was in one stretch. That was my stretch. But I've been in crime since I was 12, 13 years old.
I'm not a perfect. I was young. I made mistakes. I stole, I was I didn't steal, I was with the wrong kids. I was the only one to have balls, didn't say nothing. Everybody else was right, and I just didn't say anything. So I was the one for blame, when I was, for theft, for cars, but that was when I was young. But when I got older, it was life changing for me because when I went home on 8, I was like, I'm gonna turn a different league. I'm gonna go ahead and live my life. And this one is a curveball came in, and I ended up with 28 years. But God is great, and God is good, and we gotta have faith. But I really want you in my corner, brother. That's all I need. I need God, and then my family and friends and loved ones. As long as I have support and people fight for me, there is a chance I could get some head turns and like, hold up. Why this case is not being looked at? What's going on?
No question.
Because
I'm here for
he knows it.
I'm here for all y'all, man, because this is legalized slavery what they got going on. They're tearing our communities apart. This is the message that I'm trying to expose to the people out there who want to turn their eyes away from the criminal. And I'm trying to get them to understand exactly what crime is here in America and why there is crime and all of this stuff, man, because people are suffering. Like, man, I can't sit out here and watch football. I cannot sit out here and just watch a movie of people flying around shooting each other when I know that in reality there are people that are suffering, man, in our own nation. I can't do it.
And I'm nothing. I'm going to tell you this. I'm nothing compared to what I see here. It makes a grown man cry. I swear to God, I don't have to swear to you. This is my mom. Like I said, she passed 2 years, and that was the. I'm talking about. She was my everything, and your man. And I don't want to say I'm about to be 42 in 2 days. I mean, like, she took my heart. Like, I'm numb. Still, I'm numb. It's 2 years. And, like, literally, brother, it's numb. Like, when sometimes you talk to me, I'm not even there, you know? Like, I don't even want to... I even told Tasha, like, I'm about to give up. Fuck, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
And this is... I never... And she was like, you the strongest man I ever met. I ain't never heard you say these words. I broke down. This place breaks anybody down. And especially I see so many people that, you know, you got... I mean, there's a hell of a people in here that I met. And I was like, damn, this is the system like this? I mean, if they do that to you, hey, obviously I'm not going to sit here and cry because I know what I got coming. You've been in law school and you still, they convict you and got you, you know what I mean? Because they know they kept their mouth shut or they didn't say anything or they, you know, it's like you sit here, you did 13 years, so you already know how these nothing but conversation, especially if you mingle with the right people. I tried the best. Even I see the worst. I try to turn away and keep it moving because that's not what I want to be.
Well, for me, homie, it started to change. I changed my perspective on what prison really was and stopped looking at prison as the stigmatic view that they wanted me to with the big scary fences and all the rapists and murderers and all this, and just started looking at the fact that I'm me no matter where I'm at, and I make my own environment no matter where I'm at. And I turned it into a monastery of sort because it allowed me to unplug from life and understand truly what was going on with me, which when you're out here outside these gates, this life is not going to allow you to think like that. But in there...
But here, yeah, but behind in here, you have to be strong. You have to be an animal. I'm be honest with you, because the weak, you already know, they're going to take advantage of. You know, there's no weak. Once they know you're weak, especially, I don't know if you know about the Michigan, you know, system or whatnot, and that's how it is, you know. We can't be soft. Either you're going to stand up, be a man, and stand, or you're going to get stepped on and you ain't going to have nothing. You know, I'm not in no organization. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm just a man on my two own feet. You know, how you doing and keep it moving. I don't politics about no this. I don't speak about no other, you know, no gossiping, no disrespect, none of that. If you come, you have a good conversation and you want to, you know, sit down and, hey, sit down at the table and let's play chess, let's play domino, whatnot. As soon as you bring somebody else and say something about it, hey, listen, man, we don't do that, man. We
right.
It's peaceful over here, man.
Right.
Take that somewhere else. No disrespect. Take it.
Cut it right
else.
in the bud. That's right.
Yeah, but that's all they know, though, Tommy. That's all they know. Finally, that's all they know is this, and that's all. Like, damn, where is this gonna stop? Where is this gonna change? But we here. I mean, we gotta be strong, and I gotta be strong. And she kept telling me, look, stay. And there's people somebody gonna look. She said, you just got to keep faith because you're a good man and you pray. And I do pray. I pray, brother. I pray all day. I ain't going to lie. I pray all day. I try. Because if I don't, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to either hurt somebody or somebody going to hurt me. Simple as that. Simple as that.
I know that anger's building inside of you.
It is. It is. You know how many things that I have to bite my tongue, and how many. You know, I'm not a weak. I'm not soft. You know, I got a lot of respect every joint I go, because the way I humble myself and how I carry myself. But at the same time, big bro, it's so much a man can take. It's not about being a man. It's about being a human being. How much you could take.
Yeah. No, I dig it, man, because that's where I was at. That's
I'm like over. Honestly, brother.
That's where I was at.
Over, I'm float. Yeah.
That's where I was at. I was at a point to where every conversation I had with somebody, I was frustrated, because like all they wanted, like you say, all they want to talk about is who they've beat up, who they've stabbed, who they've sold drugs to. They want to talk about all these stories. And it's just like, at the end of the day, man, it's like, where can I get resolve? Where can I get peace? I can't sit down anywhere and not hear noise. I'm constantly being bothered. I'm constantly on edge because there's these violent people around me talking violence all the time. You know what I mean? I can't have an intelligent conversation about peace and love because nobody really understands that. And it just every day, all day long, over and over and over again.
I got what you call it been writing me too. They call them safe and just. They just wrote me and sent me a card. I think this is a non-private organization. I just got it. They've been writing me, but I haven't, because I'm like, Tasha would tell you I'm like a private, and she was like, well, you can't be fucking private all the time. You have to tell people about your case. You have to speak out, because if you don't, nobody gonna hear you. Give it a chance. I don't even have a Facebook. I don't do none of that stuff. You get what I mean? I don't want to be in people's business. I don't want to see, I'm like old school. I come from overseas. I don't even know. Listen, I swear to God, brother, I don't even know how to, I don't know how to get on no Facebook, no apps and nothing like that. I'll be honest, I read or write, and I taught myself. I ain't even been to school. And a lot of people like, man, you speak good English. I'm like, man, I'm still working, I hope you understand me though, bro.
Nah, man, you sound like you sound like my homeboy from the hood. Shit, I mean, I don't sound no different. I mean, you sound fine to me.
Appreciate it, brother. And Trisha, she's a legal. What you say?
So Trisha she's a paralegal, and she's just been in a legal analysis for the last 30 years. She has 30 years of experience. But like she said, she's really been in it most of her life dealing with all of this stuff. But she's been chomping at the bits, man. Let me get her in, and let's hear from her and what she got.
Okay, are you ready?
Trish, talk to me.
Okay. Here's what I would do. This is what I would consider. You have paid your attorney a set amount of money. You said $7,500 or $9,000 as a retainer.
Well, 75 and plus that 15, so that's 9.
Okay, so this is what I would consider. Don't do anything with that attorney right now, but because in the end, you are in charge of your case. You are supposed to be telling the attorney what you want. He needs to be listening to you. What I would do is I would get, in all honesty, I would get an investigator or an analyst in there as part of the defense team that you hire personally, and make sure that they hold that attorney's feet to the fire. I would not fire that attorney right now. I would see if you could accomplish what you want by getting somebody on your team from the outside who he is going to be like, oh, okay, well, now I got to work, and hopefully you can save that attorney-client relationship as you go forward, whether you need to go into the appeal process or whether you have to file an 1107 for newly discovered evidence, whatever. I would try to preserve that relationship with your attorney for right now. But the investigator that you have, in all honesty, sir, he is not going to be there for you, to support you and investigate in a way that is going to be a successful one. Why? Because he was hired by your attorney. When the attorney when they have their retainer and they include the help of an investigator in that retainer, you can be about 90% assured that you're going to get about 10% support on the private investigator's part, because A, he's not being paid enough money to do anything for you, really, because it takes quite a bit of money to do an independent investigation. He's working the.
Okay. Well, Tasha got what do you call it? She has that. I'm not good with law, but I mean, Thomas, he could just like tell Tasha what, because she's in better communication and she know how to fax and email them, and they get all what I need to say. And a lot of times she just like write, because my write and my spell also is not, I'm not, like I said, I don't got my GED, but I know how to write simple things, but I'm not a professional. Right. And she usually write it, I'll be honest with you, Trish, so usually she write it, and I copy paste it and send it to my attorney and be like, listen, this is what this is what I'm going through with this dude. So
you need to have a champion. You need to have a champion. God bless Tasha for what she's done. She's done everything she can possibly do. But Tasha does not have a legal background. Tasha does not know what the climate is like. She does not know how to deal with attorneys. And I'm not saying, when I say all those things that Tasha can't do, that's minimal compared to what Tasha can do. But we have
all the contract is under her name and them. So she went, and her and my family went, and I told her, make sure when you sign everything, because I want you to be in charge and be, watch what's going on, because you're my eyes and everything. I don't know what's going on with these folks out there.
But that's the problem. And I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm being disrespectful towards Tasha, because I'm not. But Tasha is doing the best that Tasha knows how to do. But what Tasha doesn't have is, what she could do is whoever you decide to go with, which that is my recommendation, is to get somebody independent in there to run it, so that the attorney will hold.
All Tasha's doing is just going in there and telling them, I want this done. I want my husband home.
Right.
And the attorney's saying, well, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Tasha don't understand what that means. For the most part. I mean, she may somewhat. I don't want to diminish anything that Tasha's done. Of course, I have much respect for this woman.
Whoever you bring in, you would find.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And she does have respect for you too, brother. And what I'm saying is, what is it that I or her? What do I need to hire someone to hold them accountable, or what is it that I need to do? Just tell me what I need to do. Like tell him. Because I don't know how to hire. Just why I need you to break it down to me. That way I have fully understanding what exactly I need to do.
Which is what Trisha's doing right now.
And the reason why Thomas and I work so well together is because he brings so much of what I need to my organization, and I bring the same to his organization of what we need. It's just kind of like a perfect storm. I have the legal I have the legal experience. He has pretty much everything else, and it's vice versa for both of us. My recommendation to you, and this is coming in, like in the third quarter, but my recommendation to you is get somebody on board that's gonna be your champion. You need somebody who is going to be. I heard you say, let me finish. Please let me finish. Please let me finish, because I got to get this out, because I got a strong personality just like Thomas, and it's killing me if I don't get this out.
I know. I can tell.
Oh, I am. That's when you feel strongly about something, you got to get it out. So just be patient with me here, sir. Let me get it out, and then I'll feel so much better. My heart rate can go back down. This is what you need. You need somebody to get in there and be your champion, not just legally, but somebody who's going to also be your champion social media wise. I believe with all my heart that this is a case that could be easily either overturned or be easily influenced by social media to your benefit. When law enforcement officials or when public officials are being called onto the carpet social media wise, they get a lot more willing, or they become a lot more agreeable to because they're being put on notice. Having said that, the person that you bring in, they need to be independent. They need to be, number 100%, first and foremost, on your side. Tasha would need to sign a power of attorney, or you would need to sign a power of attorney over to them so that they've legally covered that base to speak with your attorney. When your attorney finds out that there is an analyst, or whatever you want to call it, an analyst, an investigator, because that's what my organization provides, is private investigation, provide access to an attorney, which you don't need that right now, but that's put that into the back of your mind should that become the case. What I'm trying to do is preserve your relationship with your current attorney. But by doing that, you will need to do the following. Get Tasha on board with the fact that somebody else needs to come in that does not have the experience that she needs to have in order to make this happen. And give that person who comes in the opportunity to turn it around, conduct their own investigation with their own, independent investigation, and come back to you with the facts on that and let them lead the way social media wise, because a private investigation and a social media campaign, they can either go one in front of the other, or they can both be simultaneous at the same time. So I am sure that Thomas is probably right behind me, sitting right here with me, and is in 100% agreement that is what this case needs, as a champion, somebody who has the balls, pardon my language, and the backbone to see it through, and is not easily intimidated, and is not going to get the runaround by attorneys who are, for lack of a better word, lazy.
Well,
they're sure not lazy when they take your money. They're sure not lazy then. But they sure get lazy real quick after the money's been deposited.
Well, first I want you to take it deeper, because I don't want nothing to happen to your heart. You sound like you're a wonderful person yourself.
I gotta sit down. I said what I need. I said what I said.
She's a little tigress in the middle of the two lions, and she's just trying to get in where she fits in at. That's all.
Yeah.
Thomas makes it hard. Thomas does not make it easy, because we are both.
She need me to have a champion in my corner. Well, who is better than her and you being in my corner? I don't see anybody else. So what is it that you need from me? If we need help, what's it, money? What is it? I need someone, a champion, like you said, to put my case out there, to have somebody to fight for me. Yes. What is it that I need to do? Just guide me and just tell me. And the good God is willing, I'm behind you 1,000%.
Okay, first of all, before anything, you could take that $1,500 that you spent on your attorney and be happy, because that will be the last money that you spent since putting good money after bad. You can be confident going forward that that's not going to happen again, okay? But you're going to have to take that $1,500 most likely as a loss, okay?
Okay.
That's just the reality. And if it's just $1,500, be glad. I've seen people taken for a hell of a lot more.
What, the private investigator?
With the yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
your word for that. Okay. Well, God is good. That's a loss. Okay. So we want to go forward. Okay. What do we need? What you just said. Who you think is the best person to hold? What do you need?
There are people out there. There are people out there that I could recommend to you, and I'm sure there's people out there that Thomas could probably recommend.
Sure.
You have to weigh out what you think you need, what you can afford, because everybody can have a different price. The benefit of having me, of course, I'm going to say this because I believe there's nobody out there that has the resources that my organization does. But you need to be comfortable with who you make a decision with, and know that you're in the right hands. That's where Thomas and I have an upper hand on everybody, because we know. From an ethical standpoint, there's nobody better. But
okay, so we don't need to go nowhere. We're on the same page.
So what I see,
what's understood don't need. Okay, you came correct. You said the right things, and I love it. I don't want your heart rate to go faster no more. So we're on the same page.
So this is what I see. Hold up.
I need you in my corner.
Hold up, Kareem. So this is.
I got you too.
This is what I say.
Huh?
This is what I see. So I say that the first thing that really needs to be done is this attorney needs to be contacted, and then a case review needs to be done with him, sat down, where you at, what have you done, what's going on. And then after we do that case analysis, that case review with this attorney, then it's either every 2 weeks or at least once a month, we sit down and have a case review of what you've done within that month, where we're going, and what the progress is. So I would say at this point, you could agree or disagree. That is possibly what you need if this attorney is really, truly working for you. But I guarantee that when Tasha goes in there and says that she's hiring an advocacy to come in to help him, he's going to want to back out.
And when that happens, I'm not saying when that happens, because that's being negative. Should that happen, you have recourse too. I currently have a grievance in the state of Michigan for the very same thing, to the tune of $17,000 to an attorney that didn't do jack shit for my client. So I already am known at the Michigan State Bar as far as what to do if you are screwed over like my other Michigan client. There's recourse. Now, that's not something that's going to happen quickly, but that $9,500, as soon as you get the grievance in, I can help you administrate that and make sure you hit all your deadlines that you're supposed to, because it's happening, and it's happening a lot in Michigan, sir. That Michigan is in the hot seat right now. So if there was ever a good time for you to be having an innocence campaign. If there's ever a good time, now is the time. But there's recourse for Tasha, but I would encourage you. Thomas and I might disagree a little bit about what he said. I would encourage that somebody, whoever you choose to take this project on, that they have a legal background to talk to the attorney. Of course, Thomas should go, of course, but you want to make sure whoever does that has the legal chops to stand up against that attorney that knows, deadlines, somebody that knows what he should have been doing, and something that that he knows that they know that he hasn't done shit for you.
My question was this: when you said Tasha told him she's going to tell him we're going to hire analyst, you know what I mean, to take over, huh?
No, that's not how I would do it. You don't want to send up a warning to them unless you're ready to back it up. If Tasha goes to him and said we're doing this, and he decides to jump ship, you're a little bit screwed, because he's not going to be as willing to hand over his work, his case file, his working file. You need to get through. What Thomas did say that I do agree with is you need to get through the benefit of a case review. So the way that I or whoever you use has complete 100% access to his working file, because when he finds out, and it has to be done in such a way that he's not at all alienated, because we don't want him to jump ship until we're ready for him to jump ship. Does that make sense? Timing is everything right now.
It makes time, exactly. And what I'm saying, I don't want him to take his slow more time. It's 2 years. Thomas, if there's a way I could contact you, or you know what I mean, because
no question, phone, right? Brother. You can contact me at any time if you ever want to talk about, just to get things off your chest. If you want to just vent about stuff, homie. No question, man. No question. No question.
And if you need, listen, that don't mean it's because I'm here. I'm still a man, and I'm on 2 feet, and I make stuff happen. If you need also anything, you or the family, I'll be humble and grateful. You can ask me, and just like I'm your little brother, you consider me, or your brother, whatever you need. I'm also here. Because I already know you doing the right thing, and I know you're trying to help a lot of people. And no disrespect to Trish, no disrespect to her. I mean it from bottom of my heart, brother. You one of a kind, brother, man. That go out there and do what you do, and only God knows best. Whatever your intention is, man. Well, I just pray for you and your family, nothing but the best, brother. From bottom of my heart, I swear.
I appreciate that, brother, and that's why I want the trust of my brothers and sisters that are in prison. I'm here for them solely. You know what I mean? And whoever I tie myself to, I want my people to know that, man, these are good people too. So.
And obviously, you got Trish. You already know, and you're aware that she's also a wonderful human being, and she also want to help. And I'm the type of I'm the man I need. I'm not saying I'm a special or this. I swear on my mother, she passed, and I don't put nothing on her life, and I shouldn't even swear it right now. Brother, it wasn't no gun involved. I wasn't involved in none of this stuff. It's just my life just wasted over 13 years. I'm going on 14 years for something I didn't even do.
First, homie, your life is not wasted. Okay? Your life is not wasted. You may think that it is because you think that you've lost out on opportunities, but you are sitting in an opportunity first and foremost, and God put you here for a reason. So it's
what my daughter told me the other day when I called her?
What she said?
I said, baby, she said, Dad, I'm hurt inside. She's 23. She said, I'm hurt inside. And I said, why? She said, because of you. You know that I had to cry for 2 fucking days straight. I had to cry for 2 days straight because I don't know what am I supposed to respond to that girl? What am I going to tell her? Because I fucked up. Yeah, I can't say that I fucked up because even if I did, I'm here for honorable stuff. I'm here for my family. It's just the words she said, it's like I would have heard it from anybody but her, and I didn't even get to hear her say Happy Father's Day. I said, do you think your dad is a monster? She said, I don't care about none of that. I just want to let you know that you hurt me the most. What am I going to tell that girl? I don't know. There's nothing you can tell her, homie. And on Father's Day, my daughter, I'm home with my daughter, and I didn't even get a hug. I didn't even get a kiss.
You know what I mean? And the thing of it is that that's the same girl that transitioned my life. She transitioned my life.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't mean that, you know what I'm saying? I'm a man still, you know, I don't mean to break because it's been on my chest for so long. You know, I wanted to get it out of my chest. I ain't even told Tasha, you know, I don't know, you know, what am I going to tell her? You know, she always be like, call her, talk to her. She's still your baby. She's, you know, because that's my world, you know, daddy's little girl. I got twin boys, you know, boys is different, you know, they mama's boys, so they out there, hey dad, how you doing? Okay, fine. But her, she attached, but I could tell every time she say something, she's hurt, you know.
We are right there, just so you know.
Because she remembers she was 10 years old when I went home on 8. She remembered. She was like, remember the last time when I had my head on your chest and I went to sleep? I said, yeah, baby. She said, I woke up. You was making breakfast. She never forget that day. She never forget it. She always mentioned it. And she was like, but you have to leave me, and you left me, you know. And I'm out here now, you know, schools, high school, graduating, all that stuff. I said, baby, I'm sorry. I mean, what do you need? Anything you need, I'm here for you. What else? She was like, no, you're not. You're not here for me. So she feel grudge and she holding some type of, you know what I mean? And I don't blame her. I don't know what to say to her. I don't blame her. You know, everything she say, you know, I just sit there in silence.
And you have to, and you're supposed to. Right? You're supposed to process what she's saying because she's a human being as well. And she's dealing with her emotions and her feelings. You didn't have anything to do with this, but what I'm saying is that we have our positions in life that we have to sit back and reflect on, you know, the consequences of certain actions that may not been avoided. You know, like, it's just, man, things happen, homie, that is so beyond our understanding. But that is where faith in God comes in. That is where.
Amen, brother. I mean, I'm a firm believer in God. I'm not, you know,
He's building you for something.
Yeah, I speak to him every night before I sleep. I speak to him every morning and day in the day, you know, just to keep me humble and keep my family, loved ones, and everybody safe and sound. That's all I ask. Other than that, whatever my destiny is, God knows best. But I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to sit, you know. I'm going to fight.
That's right. And what sparks that fight is hope. And if you ever feel hopeless, homie, I'm here to try to give you a little bit of hope in any way that I can, because I know that's what fuels the prisoner to come home is hope. You know, so I'm here to give you guys hope in any way that I can. I love you, my brother, for the things that you've
bro. Appreciate it.
For the things that you've gone through, and you're a soldier. Know that there aren't many people that walk this planet that can endure what you have endured so far, and that in itself makes you a soldier and a strong human being. You know what I mean?
And I swear, it's crazy that you're just saying that. And this is a prison in here, and I have so much of capability to do all kinds of stuff, but I chose to do the right thing. I chose to be humble, and I chose to, you know, even though I got screwed there in the process, that didn't make me a bad person. I believe that there's a reason that me become a better man, that as I'm going, you know, because I don't hold a grudge against God. I just talk to him. I just be like, what, you know, this and that. You understand?
I do.
Because I see dirt. You know, they don't even want to be because I know they're gonna go out there and touch innocent boys or girls, and they give them opportunities and chances to go out there. And I sit and I look up and I said, "This is what it is. This is what." But it's not God. It's the system. It's not God. God got nothing to do with this. It's the system.
Well, maybe you can find some strength in this here, right? I'm out here in Kansas right now, homie. I'm filming you in a hotel room right now. I'm out here in Kansas. I'm out here in Kansas dealing with a dude named James Griffin, who has been in prison for 20 years, innocent. And I met his daughter for the first time the other day. She's 21 years old. She just talked to her father for the first time. You know what I mean? Her whole life. And he's innocent. This dude was in a whole nother place at the time of the crime, and the woman that he was with has been trying to get a hold of the prosecution and the judge for the last 20 years. They keep denying her. And she's the one that's got all the evidence to show that he was with her that day.
Yeah, that's his innocent. That's his alibi right there.
And they've been denying her. They've been shutting her down. They didn't bring her into the trial. They would never investigate.
What's that, Kansas?
Yeah, it's my case. It's my case. I brought Thomas in on it to do just exactly what he's doing right now. I don't have the bedside manner he does, but I brought him in because I thought that he could be a part of what I can't provide, which is
okay. So how can I get hold of Trish and you? Which one? How is it? It's not too much.
Who do we contact to start the process of what we were describing about coming in as an advocacy? Who handles your books? Is that Tasha?
Tasha, yeah.
So we'll get with Tasha. We'll sit down and do a Zoom with her or however she's comfortable, and we'll discuss pretty much what we've discussed here. I'm sure she's going to sit down and she's very anxious for the show to come out. She just sent me a message talking about how nervous you were about doing the show, but I sent her a message and said that you were doing great. So she's excited about that. So she's excited about the show. So she'll listen to the show, listen to what we had to say. We'll get together and figure out what we can do, what benefits all of us, and able to get this done and get you home, brother. Because that, to me, is the most important thing, is getting you home.
I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Don't mean a lot, man. I'm tired. I need to be home.
I know you are, homie.
I need to be home. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm like when I say I'm tired, brother, real talk, because I don't ask her. I don't go to chow. I don't eat this food. I'm like just distant myself, man. I'm done. I'm tired. I can't explain it anymore. No, you know. And I just gotta keep going. But you give me hope, Trish. You know, my wife. You know that y'all come in my life, and I feel like, hey, obviously God is good because He constantly keeping people in contact with me, trying to have good people in my life. Oh, there is good people in my life, and I don't know. So I need to take a deep breath and sit back and don't give up. I keep telling myself, don't give up, you know?
No, because you got purpose. There's purpose for you, homie. We don't know what that purpose is. And if you give up, you'll never know.
I swear to God, it's easy. It's easy. It's what you call it. Pick up a knife and stab 2-3 motherfuckers and sit in the hole for 8-9 months, not dealing with none of these motherfuckers all day, every day. Because some of them is stupid, brother. You know what I mean? And some of you got good people and you got bad people. You know, and I'm both sides. You get what I mean? I'm both sides. Because you already know how the system is, you know, and how the corrections and how, you know. And it's like, man, people talk to you, you know, because they treat us all equal. They all, you know, you don't talk to me, you know, with disrespect. Because I've been called all kinds of names. You don't know how Michigan, because when you go up north, they out there, they call me Towhead, ISIS, Camel Jockey, Carpet, you know, where you carpet, you know, like when I go on call out. You know, I'm like, man, I've been in America all day now. You know what I mean? Why you disrespect me? You're supposed to be professional. What do you mean? Where's my carpet?
But you know these are broken people, homie.
Yeah.
They're broken people, and that's the thing. I started to understand what Jesus meant when He said, "Turn the other cheek." You know, for the longest, I'm like, man,
I swear I turn the other cheek.
And that's what it is, because I become more humble. When somebody starts showing me more and more ugly, I become more and more humble because I feel sorry for this person. Like, why are you such an ugly person? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they call me sand monkey or sand nigga. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? I'm like, you got a uniform, man. You're supposed to be a correctional. You're a professional, dude. You know what I mean? If I get out of character and respond, that's gonna make me just like you. But I'm trying to figure out what makes you disrespect me. Well, I'm just joking. I said, I don't be up here joking with you and play with you for you just, you know.
Yeah, no, that's not something you joke about.
Name. I said, what is it that is so funny, and what is it that you and I have to joke about? Because you calling me names, dude. You know what I mean? I don't call you names. I don't call you no colors or names, you know? I'm like, that's unacceptable. But It's like a razor blade in my throat. If I swallow it, it cut me, brother. And if I pull it out, it's gonna cut me. Yeah. And I'm like stuck.
Well, Kareem, I guess it's okay for us to broach Tasha about this subject, right? We have your approval on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, talk to her. I'm going to call her when I get back. I'm going to tell her you're going to get a call from Thomas and Trisha Jones. And, whatever they think and see is fit, let's go forward because they're here trying to help also. You already have faith in Thomas, all this time. Because she was like, this dude is the real thing. This dude is this. Baby, you need to talk to him. Baby, you need to do this.
I appreciate
that. Mama, I can't wait. Well, whenever the God and the opportunity, that's fine. Because the last time I had a visit with her. But the call out, they made the call out at the same time. You see how, you know what I mean? We're not even going to.
No, but and then the thing of it is that I hadn't even met Trisha at that time yet. I mean, I knew of her. And we had discussed, but what has happened didn't even happen prior to that. So like I told Tasha, everything happens for a reason. We're going to get something done because that's crazy.
Okay, brother. And then how can I contact you?
Do you have something to write with there? Or I'll send my personal number to Tasha and have her get it to you. And then brother, you can reach out to me at any time, man. Anytime you need to.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. And where you at? You in Florida?
I'm in Florida.
Okay.
I'm in Tampa.
And I'm in Washington, D.C., which right in the middle of it all.
D.C.
Yeah,
Washington, D.C.
She in D.C., man.
I was when I came to the United States, I came to Maryland.
There you go. Then you know what that's my love. That's my first love. But I am in Washington, D.C. because of my platform to make things happen. So I'll have Thomas forward my contact information as well. And then I'll look forward to talking to Tasha. And my biggest goal is to be able to design an innocence campaign that's going to work for you guys. And after talking to Tasha,
thank you so much.
That'll get me closer to that. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Sis, I love you and I appreciate you and God bless you.
God bless
and
you
God bless your family. And I want you to stay safe and healthy. And so to Thomas, you and your family, man, y'all going to be in my prayer every day.
Well, if I can
I'm so grateful and humble.
If I can make him behave, we'll be just fine. But it's kind of hard to make him behave.
Right.
I'm coming out guns blazing. And when I tell people like this here, when I tell people I'm bringing the spirit of Malcolm X with me, this is what I tell them. I said, man, I'm bringing the spirit of Malcolm X with me. These people, they get scared.
I want to work. I want to get out. I want to work. I want to help because I know there's a lot of people need help. And you're gonna see my support. I'm not gonna say that I'm not a hustler. I'm your boy. I know how to. I'm one good thing. I'm good with money. I know how to make money. I know how to. You know what I'm saying?
Homie, when you get out, we got you, man. I got you. We just got to get you outside the gate. That's paramount first and foremost over anything. All bullshit aside is to get you outside of the gate.
Well,
I can promise you, homie, that with me, I'm not gonna let nobody fuck you over. I promise you that.
Thank you.
Nobody's gonna be fucking over inmates with me.
You got family. Well, I'm a human, and I know you believe in karma, and I know I got a daughter too, and I got 3 kids, so. And Tasha, she's a hell of a woman. She been rocking with me. She been solid, and I'm talking about.
I could tell she's tired too, though. She's tired. She's at her end. I could see it in her.
She's a woman. I mean, what woman? She weighed that. I want to be home because I don't want her to, come home in the empty bed. I want to be home with nobody. She's exhausted. Yes, brother, she's exhausted. She's also, she's a woman. She goes through cycles. She goes through it, but she also need a man in her life. She also need me home. She want me home. She don't want nobody. Yeah. I'm her life. I'm everything. Be honest with you. She eat, breathe, sleep, me. And you know what I mean? She don't want nothing. And I'm hurt because I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to go through the things she go. I'll be like, I just go rent a cab. Go do this. What do you want? What do you want to buy? Go buy whatever you want. Go have whatever, you know what I mean? She said, I don't want nothing. I just want you home. It's not easy, it's not. And she was like, I don't care if you're out day 37. She says, Mom, I'm here to stay. I'm not going nowhere there. I'm not going nowhere.
Nah, and I know that Tasha's that type of woman too. Like I say, I've been dealing with Tasha for a good year now. You know what I mean? And like I say, man, all the women up there in Michigan, man, that are fighting for all of these innocence campaigns and whatnot, like all these women are strong women, and I respect the hell out of all of them, man. And I'm here to do what I can, homie.
One thing about women, you and I both know, women know what they want. If they think that we are a piece of shit, believe me, brother, they would have been with somebody else. We good mans too, you know.
No
and
question.
I strive to be, yeah. You know, women, they know, especially here. They educated, and my Tasha, that's my heart and my word. She's a good woman. She
I know. I sent her a text, and I told her that she had. It sounded like she had a good man. I just sent her that.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. And stop being hard head too, because the Trish.
Man, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I got to keep it pushing, man. I got stuff to do. That's how I am. Either they get it, either Trisha gets it.
Be careful.
Well,
no, but
I
it's
need that laugh.
No, but it's really understanding.
I know she hear you, but she said no comment.
Yeah, she's over here telling me. She's telling me to be careful, but no, it really is the hardest thing for me, homie. For real. Coming out and transitioning into the society is to be the blunt, honest person that I've known to be, that has kept me alive in prison, because these people cannot handle the upfrontness that we have. You know, it's like we have to be delicate. We have to dance around. We have to, you know, and I get misread so much as being aggressive or however, and it's really not me. It's just like, if you understood, when you got somebody that's 6'8" in front of you, that's 280 pounds, you have no choice but to be up front with this dude. There is no beating around the bush.
Okay, I hear you.
You know what I mean? And that's just how prison is. Like, it teaches you this is what it is. This is how I feel. And if you don't do whatever, then it's going to escalate quick. You know, so we've been under that pressure for years after years after years after years. And then we come out here and then we have to be soft and we have to protect people's emotions and stuff. And it's like, man, I don't have time for that shit.
Thomas,
I love you, brother, man. And just please be at peace, man.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm at peace. I'm really at peace. And the Trisha, she sound cool. She sound down to earth. But tell her to take a deep breath, because I know how you are. It seems like so far, like you either get this done or get out the way. But sometimes you have to take also a deep breath and hear the other person, because you've been through it. She might not know, or what, you know, a lot of people don't understand the system. We've been in the system, so we know what the struggle. We've seen stuff that they beyond their imagination. You get what I mean? Beyond. You know, killing and robbing and stealing and all the other stuff, and the conniving. You and I both witnessed that in prison. See, they don't understand. They've never been inside here, because this is a whole different world. You know, a whole different world. You know it and I know it.
It's ugly. Brother, take care of yourself, man.
Thanks. I just want you to be more, you know, open-minded, you know, with the Trish, and be more open-minded with me. Be more, because I know
Thank you.
I got you. I'm gonna have you back. I'm gonna have his back too, because you have my back now. So I need you to take a deep. Yeah.
I need it. Thank you.
Well, I hope this makes you feel better, homie. And I know, like, every time I get off the phone with inmates, man, I just picture, like, you sitting in a cold ass room, you hanging up that phone, you got to go back to your cell. You know what I mean? And like, that shit really bothers. These types of discussions, man, they hurt me, and they leave me drained. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
I want you to know that you're strong and you're my brother. You're out there, you're fighting, not just for me, but so don't cut yourself short at all. Please don't, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I won't get what I got on my chest today and felt the way I felt today if it wasn't you. Let me tell you that one. That's one.
Amen.
Two, brother, you got a brother, listen, whatever, money, friend, I'm also here for you too. So we're not perfect. We're going through stuff too. So yeah, I do want to communicate with you. I do want to build, and I want us to grow, because brother doesn't have to be a blood, you know.
No
Brother
question.
can be a, you know, yeah.
No question about that.
I got a brother that I carried damn near 13 years in the joint, helped him out, secure pack and everything, and he got out. He didn't even send me $20, and that's my own brother. And you know, I texted him the other day. I said, tell me what is it that I did on my end for you to behave that way? And I'm your older brother. If I ever disrespected you or something, or I told on you, or I did this, or I didn't take care of you when you was young, you just give me one reason. What is it that I'm being treated by you? He's 29 years old. He's not a baby. He's 6'4", you know? He's 6'4". And I was like, what is it that I do, bro? What is it? That's my baby brother. You know, guess what? I don't get not even a response. I left it at that.
All right, my brother. Well, take care of yourself. We'll get with Tasha and figure something out and get on this ASAP. And just get the ball rolling, brother, and
let's get it.
Get you home, man. All right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, man, and have a blessed day. You and Trish, okay? And y'all be safe.
No
question.
Thank
you, Trish. I appreciate you, sis. And thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. From bottom of my heart, Thomas, I appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate you, homie, for your strength and your courage.
Just don't worry about this. We here, you know what I mean? I know you are, but a lot. Just you're doing the best, and you're doing awesome. And I'm one of them that I need you out there, brother. I need, because that's a backbone. You cannot, you know what I mean? So you go ahead, contact Tasha, whatever, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna let me know, and me and you are also gonna be in contact. And make sure you leave your info and Trisha info with Tasha. That way, you know.
No question. I'm gonna do that as soon as I get off with you. I'm gonna send that to Tasha. And just get it started, man, and see where it goes, homie. But one thing, like I say, is I'm with you, and if I'm with you, whoever is with me is with you as well, and we be
say less,
and that's
say
it.
Less.
So
I got you. Say less, big bro.
One.
I'm very, I've been around and I hear you loud and clear. Right. But I want both of y'all wish me happy birthday, because my birthday in 2 days.
Happy birthday, homie.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead, man. I'll call mama and let her know, it went great, and I appreciate she's gonna get a ring from you or Trish, and she knows what to do.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you again, bro.
Till the next time, homie.
Okay, next time.
One.
All right, one.